Welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning, and today we'll be going over today's topics. I'm your host, Cedric Kennedy, and we flip over to the topics and whatnot that I'll be briefly going over. So, this is where I get stuff from Kialo. I answer it blindly, predominantly, I guess supposedly ignorantly, slightly uninformed. And you just have the chance to just rip me a new one in the comment section and just, have a little fun, a little discussion, maybe some education. Educate me, maybe I can educate you. And it's just a chill. It's pretty much just a chill. And it's also to break the monotony of all other things and gives me something to do once a week. And so, with that, hopefully my voice isn't too loud. So, we got 4. So, the first one, social media platforms should not be regulated. I mean, there's no obligation to not regulate them, but seeing as paid or mainstream media is not regulated, I mean, what's wrong with equality? That's it. What's wrong with equality? So here's how I really, truly, deeply feel about social media regulations and whatnot. All right. Let's just keep it real and honest. What are regulations for? What is the point of a regulation? It is to control something. So if you have good regulations, you make sure that what is being controlled is not harming something or someone else. That's the point of it. And so when you regulate, let's say, a slaughterhouse, you make sure that whatever could be done in the form of neglect or shortcuts that would harm people or workers or anything like that, you make sure that that stops. So if they are killing the stuff, not washing the blood off, not cleaning whatever they're going to send out and thus to be packaged, then that you need to change that. Now, to clean it and whatnot could cost a lot of money. It could. However, that's fine. That's fine. Let it cost money. I'd rather it cost money than lives. I'd rather it cost money than to force people to lose a lot of money from medical bills. A simple cleaning and keeping things healthy helps others be healthy. You see what I'm saying? Another regulation, don't pollute rivers. Whatever it is, you do not dump, you do not pollute, you do not put waste into rivers, streams, lakes, and whatnot. That's regulation. Dispose of it another way. Something that does not harm the people or the environment. And if it costs you money, it costs you money. Deregulation is a way to save money. So to deregulate means to save money, means to harm the people, the environment, and stuff thereof. So social media should be seen as the same way. If your rhetoric, if what you propagandize enables, bolsters, or promotes the harm of innocent and or harmless people, then therefore we've got a problem and you need to be shut down instead of anything else. If you're promoting a harmful people, or a harmful person, that's up to debate. Me, I'm like, look, somebody's being harmful and hurting others. And it's just violence. That's all they care about. This is violence. I don't like you because of this. I must hurt you, or I must help people or enable people to hurt you. Then I say all means get the pitchforks and jack that person up. Because they are not productive to society. They are negative to society. So if you are out there promoting white nationalism, if you are out there promoting black people should be in absolute charge of anything, if you're out there promoting light-skinned people are better than dark-skinned people, or women are better than men, or men are better than women, if you are promoting stuff like that, then you are literally pushing towards the area of harming people or harming things. Therefore, you need to be shut down. And if someone says get the pitchforks on you, have at it. You want people to be hurt? I say fine. Put yourself on the target list. How do you like it now? If you don't like being on the target list, then you need to stop. It's that simple. Okay. So, social media platforms should not be regulated. No, they should be regulated. It's by who and how, and is it fair? That's the whole gambit right there. And then it can go into fair to who. Simple. Bar none. Full stop. It should be made to not harm people. If it is allowed to harm people, then let those people enabling the harm to be harmed. Anyone innocent, it's like, look, we just out here. It's a social media platform of the best place to pick grapes. You might say, I don't like that area to be picked. I don't like my grapes from that piece of land. I think, people like that should be stopped. And I don't care how. I don't care how brutal or violent you got to be. Okay, someone's saying that. You should put them on the chopping block. It's that simple. Okay, I'm going to move on. So, the next, should the U.S. recognize Palestine as a state? Honestly, you can't answer that with yes or no. You know how the only way to answer this truthfully, and there's a lot of people that's going to be all upset about that. It's like, you should choose my side. That's really what you want. No matter which side it is, you should choose my side. I'm in the area of this. I live in the United States of America. I am a U.S. inhabitant. I am a U.S. citizen. I should have no dealings of anything overseas. That's it. Remove all of that tribal mess. Should the U.S. recognize? Why? The U.S. recognizing something? That's that U.S. exceptionalism crap. If the U.S. recognizes it, then it's important. If the U.S. don't recognize it, then it should be harmed. It's going to be harmed anyway because it's the United States. We can't stop hurting each other. We don't have a say and shouldn't have a say on somebody else's land and how they govern it. We should not be involved in wars and battles of other places. Leave them alone. If you want to be the world police, then you're doing the greatest job by going to war with any and everyone, because that's what the police do. It is us against them. If you want to be the world saviors, the world assistants, then that means you find out where it started, who's perpetuating, who keeps attacking who is on the defense, who is always striking on offense, and the ones that are the ones being, whoever the protagonist is, whoever is not being the antagonist, you help them, you save them. And it should not be about politics. It should not be about religion. It should not be about money. It should not be about ego. It should not be about shame, pride, or any of that. It should be about who is being hurt. Save that one. That's it. Who initiated and is still perpetuating? Those are the ones you attack. I think it's simple that way. And you don't attack the citizens. You don't attack the powerless. You attack those in charge of making this happen. So, for me, should the U.S. recognize Palestine as a state? I'm saying that no one should recognize the U.S. to be able to recognize anything, and leave it be. Leave it be. If help is needed, help the right way. But since the United States don't know how to do that, then do not ask the United States for help. I'm just saying, I get tired of the bloodshed. I get tired of people hurting people for no reason. I get tired of it being for whatever religious, money, pride, ego, shame, and all that other stuff. Just stop it. It's simple. Just stop. But the reason people don't stop the violence is because they're afraid that once they stop, the ones that they're hurting will then feel like it's okay to return fire. And what it would be justified, but perhaps just stop. Just stop. It's not hard. It's not hard. Next one. The majority of people don't know how to create sound arguments. That's true. I don't know how to create sound arguments. Because I am not a part of the system of arguments. I'm not in that area. Let me give an example. At first, there was great ways to make arguments. You come up with your subject. You've got your filler, your predicate. You got all this other stuff. You've got your who, what, when, where, why, how. You've got your time, your date, your backup, and all this other stuff. And then if you hear information that contradicts or is contrary, and it makes sense, and it can be verified, then you change your opinion. But see, that's how debates are done. We don't do that. And that's been that way forever. Forever. It is simply everything does one-liners and whatnot. You know, we are literally, people live in the 1980s of rhetoric. You know, you get online, you get on the Young Turks or Benjamin Dixon or me or somebody else, you know, and you hear them talking about, you know, Black Lives Matter, and you put up a thing. You don't put up an argument. You just simply say, you know, Black Lives Matter. That means white lives don't. And you move on and you say nothing. You know, that's not a sound argument. That's mainly a troll, an idiot, or whatnot. Either you're racist or you're stupid. Make a choice. That's pretty much how I handle those. But if you go on Twitter, you'll see something like Black Lives Matter has killed so many people, and Black Lives Matter has murdered many cops, and this is a travesty. Therefore, white lives matter. Therefore, all lives matter. Therefore, Trump rules. You'll see stuff like that. And it's not that they even care. They might be doing it as a goof, as a rib, as a joke. Not thinking about what they are truly saying. And then you got those that know what they're saying and why they're saying it. You know, nobody makes sound arguments. And I can't argue like that. I don't know how. I'd like for what I say to make sense for you so you can follow it, so you can understand it. I don't know how to argue with dumb, stupid. I know the difference between your and your. I know the difference between there and there and there. I know the difference between those things. I know the difference between I am, I'm, and all that. I get those things. The majority of people do not. Easy is pretty much what I see. Are nuts. Are stupid. I don't. That's what is out there now. If you can't argue in that style, then you can't be on their level. You can't be on their floor. You just can't be. And I'm out of that picture. I don't even want to try to deal. I don't really, when I see text like that, I tend to just ignore it. I tend to, because I'm like, I'm dealing with somebody that's obviously not trying to use that thing above their neck that, you know, has the ability to learn so much and be so amazing. You know, stunting your own mental prowess, to me, is one of the worst crimes that you could commit. And when you commit that crime, you get people like racists. You get people that could be beautiful, but they choose to be mentally lazy and mentally feckless. Therefore, you don't get those amazing things that you could have right now. We don't have those beautiful, amazing things that they thought we should have back in the 1950s and 60s and 70s. They thought we would have had like in the early 90s, maybe even the late 80s. You know, we don't have those things because people are mentally feckless and they try to leave everything up to others instead of going past what they think they know. So that's the thing about sound arguments. So fourth and final one, should paternity testing of minors require the consent of both parents? And truth be told, nope. You don't need consent. You don't need consent. If you want to find out if it's your kid or not, go and get a test. You know, go and get a test. Just saying, ain't nothing wrong with that. Go get a test. If the guy has to get a test and needs the approval of the mother, then that's wrong. I find that outright, blatantly, downright nasty and wrong. Because you want to know, and if someone's blocking you from knowing, they're blocking information, they're blocking truth. So I find that wrong. Now look, I am going to say something that y'all are really not going to like about this part. But this is trying to put all the power in the court of the female. And I'm going to tell you something, and this is true. There are females out there that have gotten paternity tests for their own child. Now, those have been because of, fertilization and things like that. Not knowing who, because eggs get mixed up. You got this vial, that vial, and someone just mentally feckless doctors pick it up. Here's yours, and run with it. They implant these into the female and then say, go have your baby. And then the baby comes out and she's like, something ain't right. Something's just not right. So they get a paternity test and then they sue the doctor because it's like, who the hell kid is this? And so you've got her husband's sperm fertilized another woman's egg and she carried it. And there are cases where a complete different dude and complete different woman's egg have been fertilized and placed into the female. This has happened. It's not rampant, not that I know of, but it has happened. And there was a tiny little spring of it, a little 3 or 4 cases, but that was like, wow, like, ooh, probably 2006 area, 2003, 2006. And there are cases where, and y'all aren't going to like this one, because this right here might hit home for some, but there are cases where, hey, people go out, couples go out partying, they do some drugs, they get some drunk, they do some things, a little something there. And, a little wife sharing, swapping, and certain things can cancel birth control, and that can, you don't think about that, and then three or 4 days, maybe a week later, you go and have your little party, and or go to the party, and somebody else get a hold of you, and the woman gets pregnant. She thinks it's her man thinks it's his. Kid comes out, and it's kind of like, what is this? And so he's pissed, because that ain't my kid. And the mother's like, I didn't cheat. And the thing is, they were so out of it, they didn't even know what happened. It was just fun. Just had fun. They were tripping. It was all good. Those things happen. These things happen, which is why we have morning after pills and things like that. I don't know who I did, but I feel strange. And the husband's like, I was with you all night. Well, he thought he was. Then some woman comes up to him about 12 months later. We got to talk. And the woman is like, what? It's like, hey, y'all two had kids at the same time. That's cool. Oh, no. So I'm just saying, these things happen. Swingers happen, and the protection fails. You can use a condom, you can use spermicide, you can use birth control, and it will all fail. It's happened. I know somebody, and I ain't calling out names. I know someone this happened to. They had all 3 guards up, and not one of them worked. So I'm just saying it's possible. And that's the only person I know, and I know that's anecdotal and stuff, but I'm just saying, I don't want to put this person on blast because this person's not an enemy. Just saying, I've known it to happen. And so it's good to be a little careful out there, So paternity testing, hey, you want one, get one, and no one should stop you. I think it should be that simple. All right. I spoke slow because I wanted to be very, very clear. And so there, it's all said. If you got comments, questions, you want to dog pile on me about something, man, have at it. Do you? All right. It's all good. I might even do a response video, or I just might respond in the comment section. I read the comments. So, That's gonna do it for this. That's just gonna do it for this. So it's been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning for today's topics. Thank you for listening.